seems to want to help me out today with this. In those 4 photographs, I'm sure you noticed the red rugby ball in the last one, but did you notice it in the first one? What was it that changed in the course of those 4 photographs? Yeah? You got it? The viewpoint? Right. So artists are really skilled at capturing different viewpoints. So when the ball was really huge, that was like from the ground, a worm's eye view. What's the opposite of that? Bird's eye view, right? From the sky, bird's eye view. And then you've got your regular, I don't know, what do you call it? Human view? What have you. So artists are really great at capturing different viewpoints. But did you ever think about how they're really good at changing your point of view? Now I know that you're exploring Google Earth and getting into learning about land formations and map making and all kinds of really exciting geography related skills. And in art, we're going to be exploring some of those same kinds of things and thinking about how through art we can change people's point of view about the planet by looking at it from different viewpoints. Are you ready? Ready, Dex? Go! No, not into that. Are you?
For this week's artwork, you actually just need 2 colors, but we're going to experiment with as many possible materials as you have and see what they do. You definitely need some crayons or oil pastels though. We're going to imagine that we're a bird flying over the earth. So on the back of your paper, just practice sketching out some birds. Then when you decide on your design that you like, draw it on the front of your good copy paper. There we go, swooping through the air. Now I'm going to switch to a blue crayon and draw the flight path I imagine that this bird is swooping around on. You can use a crayon or an oil pastel for this, and what I want you to do is go over the line with heavy pressure so it's nice and solid and thick. Then fill in the shape of your bird. I'm going to do some black mixed with some brown oil pastel and a little yellow beak. There we go. Inside all those shapes I've created with my flight path line, I'm going to fill them all with green, imagining my bird is flying over an oasis. I'm going to switch to use every possible material I have in green. Light green, dark green markers, colored pencils, crayons, oil pastels, what have you. I'm going to draw different kinds of line designs and textures and be inspired by what I've seen when I use Google Earth to look at all the different kinds of landscapes around the world. Once this is done, you want to fill in the outside space. And for this, I'm going to use browns because I'm going to imagine that the bird is flying over the desert before it hits the oasis. So I'm going to do just a zigzag line filling in that space and take a darker brown and make some wavy lines like the sand dunes, and I'm done. That's it. Unless you want to keep experimenting, in which case, get some water and a brush or a sponge and see what happens when you go over it with just water and see how your markers will bleed. If you have watercolor paints, you can experiment and add a layer of those as well. You can choose any landscape you wish. It doesn't have to be the green for the oasis and brown for the desert. You choose completely. Now you can finish at this point here or get out a special guest material. You could try out instant coffee. If you just scoop a few grains into a small amount of water and stir it around, and the water doesn't have to be boiling here, see how this acts just like watercolor paint. But it has a little bit of a bonus feature. You can actually take some of the little granules and scoop them out and onto the wet paper, and it will create a texture just like you see when you look over deserts or dried up sabkha when you're looking on Google Earth. So experiment with that, and if you're not into coffee or don't have any, you could try tea as well. Can't wait to see the results of your experiments, as well as find out about the materials you ended up using. Take a picture of your artwork and upload it on page 1 of the activity, and your materials photo on page 2.